Hey guys, welcome back to Tasty Cakes. I'm AJ and today we're doing something super exciting and different than what I've normally done. Today's recipe you can not only microwave, which is why I'm holding this mug. It's gonna be a single serve microwave mug cake, but also it is gluten-free, dairy-free, and low carb. Come on, what could be better? I know a lot of us are trimming down for the summer months. I've had a lot of people ask me for keto diet friendly recipes. If you're not familiar with keto, Google it. So if you want to come home at the end of the day and have a dessert you don't have to feel guilty for, this is the one for you. So that being said, let's get started. We are going to be measuring things right into our mug here and then putting it directly into the microwave. First thing I'm going to be putting in here is 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. Now the thing that makes this low carb or carb free is the sweetener I'm using. You do not use regular sweetener in this. I went to Whole Foods and they have a lot of options when it comes to sugar substitutes, some of which are better than others here. I'm using this here, which is organic stevia. This actually has a blend of erythritol, which is a sugar alcohol. It's basically a carb-free version of sugar. Erythritol is in a lot of sugar-free drinks that still taste a little bit sweet. That's what's in there that still gives it that sweetness. This has that as well as stevia in it, so it's a pretty good blend. Erythritol itself is really hard to find. Also, it's pretty expensive, so this I found at the store. This was about $7 to $8, which I know that is pretty pricey. However, you don't need too much of it, and if you are watching what you're eating, then sometimes it's better to invest in what's gonna make a difference. So I'm using this today. You don't wanna use Splenda in this because Splenda has more of a powdery consistency, and the way it gets absorbed into the batter here won't give you the same texture cake if you use that. So I'd recommend something like stevia or erythritol if you can find it, because it's a bit grainier and it's gonna yield you a much better cake. So in the mug I just put my cocoa powder in. I'm going to be putting 2 tablespoons of my sugar substitute here. Before you add anything else to this, you wanna take a fork or a small whisk. You wanna make sure you whisk this pretty well so that you can really combine the cocoa and sugar and eliminate any lumps. The next thing I'm adding here to my little mug cake is a pinch of salt, as well as a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Again, I'm going to take my fork or whisk and just combine this really well. The next thing we need to do here is take 1 egg. You want to beat this in a separate bowl so that you can kind of incorporate a little bit of air to this. Since there's no flour, this is what's going to help lighten our cake batter here. So once your egg is nicely beaten here, we're going to be adding this to our mug. I am also adding about 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And the last ingredient here is 1 tablespoon of almond milk. So now you want to mix this really well. Since there is no flour here, you don't really have to be concerned with over mixing. You do want to make sure that you get down in the crevices, really stick it down in there, get everything out of there. Now that my batter is done, it looks like this. Pretty similar consistency to ordinary cake batter. If you're microwaving this, you want to microwave it for about a minute. Like I said, if you want this to be a molten cake, then microwave it slightly less. Once it gets to a minute, check it. If it springs back when it's touched, then it's done. If you microwave it too much, it'll start to get spongy on you. You don't want that. Also, all microwaves are different. The wattage differs, so you want to pay attention to it once it gets right around that minute mark. You can also bake this in the oven. You can bake it at 350 for about 10 minutes, pour it in a ramekin, and bake it like that as well if you'd rather do that. Obviously the microwave is easier here, so that's what I'm going to be doing. And in this minute here, I would just like to say again, if you guys want to see me make something, I will happily look at any suggestions or recommendations. I'm always happy to try new recipes. If there's something you want me to try, definitely either leave it in the comments below or send me a message. Check out my Facebook page, my Instagram. They are both Tasty Cakes with AJ. You can also contact me there. Give me anything you want and I will happily listen. Also, please hit that subscribe button when it pops up at the end of this episode. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to make Tasty Cakes grow and I can't do that without any of you. So thank you to those watching. Thank you to those who have subscribed. Let's keep it going here. My mug cake is done. As you can see, it rose up a lot. It springs back when it's touched, but it's not really a spongy texture, which is good. You want to eat this pretty much immediately. And I mean, who doesn't love warm chocolate cake, right? And I have to say, it is pretty good. I mean, obviously when you microwave a cake, the texture is going to be a little bit different, but with this one, it's really not bad. I actually like it. And also keep in mind, if you're using a sugar substitute, it's not gonna taste exactly the same. A lot of sugar substitutes have kind of a bitter upfront taste. This one, not so much. It's a pretty mellow flavor. It's a very dark and rich cake. It's not overpoweringly sweet because we use the stevia rather than regular sugar. And as you can see, it was super simple and super quick. So thank you guys again for tuning in today for Tasty Cakes. I will be back next Friday with another recipe and of course a whole new bunch of tastiness for you. Again, check out all my pages where I post all my pictures and social media. And again, any questions, just shoot me a message or leave a comment down below. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.